total ascension plan that's going to take you from a sub 5 to a fucking slayer. First thing we're gonna do, hop on roids.
I wanna go to prom.
It's begun. Holy intro. All right, bro. I'm going to be walking you through my entire 1-year ascension, covering the mechanisms, what I used, how I did it. But not only that, more just the mindset I had going through each phase of it, kind of what led me to making the decision, what led me to going all in. Because to be honest, bro, you already have all the information you need to make your life better. But for some reason, you just haven't acted on it, most likely, if you got to this video. So that's what I'm going to help you with today. So let's jump in. So 1-year ascension, why I hopped on Chud to Chad, engineering the advantage, right? So these pictures right here, taking about a year apart, physique got just absolutely nutty. We'll cover that. Made a shit ton more money. Face, yeah, this isn't like your basic people buzzword spamming the word ascension now because it's popular. Yeah, no, this is an actual ascension, right? I'm going to show you what I did. So to start off, I graduated college and then I did door-to-door for my second year. I didn't have an internship. I had a pretty bad GPA. I knew I was going the entrepreneurial route and that school was pretty much pointless. I made 30 G's the summer before in 3 months. And I honestly just finished school out because I was already 3 years in, wanted to make my parents happy, yada, yada, yada. But yeah. I mean, 3 months, I made more than someone would make a yearly salary at an internship, honestly, a regular job as well. So why would I try to get an internship and then a job? This doesn't make any sense, right? But because of this, it's commission only, so there's no safety net, no plan B, all in, right? So I drove from Tampa to Houston, Texas, because that's where I had to knock for the summer. Made about 40 grand, second year doing it, pretty good. I could have done better. I had extremely shitty leadership though, to be honest. Faced a lot of adversity. There were like hurricanes, power went out, couldn't get installs in, right? But it was decent, right? The place itself was ass. Do not go to Houston. Apparently there's like the Houston effect going on. I've seen Lucas Egolif's vids. Guys, yeah, I'm telling you, do not go to Houston. Like the Houston effect it's real. Don't even touch that place, right? But guys, I worked my balls off, right? This is at 11:06 p.m. I'm doing door-to-door sales, selling Vivint security and alarms. Guys, I'm knocking on doors at 10 p.m., getting people to take out $5,000 lines of credit to make money. So I'm going balls to the wall. Like you have to have that mindset just in life in general. So we finished summer, banked the money. Me and my boy went to Kansas City for extension. You can knock doors for another month. Honestly, we just went because we wanted to go to the NFL home opener that year. It was dope as fuck. We also started a business later in the story I'll get into. But then, so I spent $1,600 a month on my new apartment in Florida that was right near the office, right, for Vivint, where we have our team meetings, all that shit. And to be honest, this apartment sucked. For $1,600 a month, this apartment was it was a prison cell. Like you can see this window right here. That's the only window in my room, damn near the entire apartment, and the sun is in the other way. This place was a prison cell. I hated it. But first time truly living alone, no roommates, no parents, right? I was in full control of my environment and the energy within that, which is really important, because it showed me what the average life would look like if I don't lock in, right? Forced me to really think about my situation, where I'm at in life, and what I want it to be, right? Because up until this point, I've kind of been on autopilot, right? Went to college because I was told to. It's the traditional route. That's what you should do. Honestly, just did door-to-door sales because I couldn't get another internship, but I'm a dog, so I went balls to the wall. I made the best out of it, made some money, but I was just like kind of floating through life almost, which you might be in the same situation because I know 99% of people are. They just float through life. They don't have a backbone. They don't make any decisions that they want to do, right? Which is why, honestly, this was an important arc, having my own energy. I hated door-to-door, so I decided, bro, I need to make money online. Like, that has to happen. You see it. It's happening. I know I can do it. I just did door-to-door, right? So I quit door-to-door, knew there were other opportunities. And to be honest, I just messed with the online aesthetic, like the LARP. Obviously, there was like some shit coins going around and whatnot, but I eventually ended up doing online high ticket sales or setting for my boy's marketing agency. Again, commission only. And at the start, I was quite literally paying to learn, right? Because I had a good bit of cash saved up from my summer and door to door, but I wasn't really making any money because I started as a closer. I didn't close any deals because online high ticket from door to door is very different. So it was a big learning curve. So I wasn't making any money. I was draining $1,600 a month just from rent. I have other expenses, obviously. So yeah, that was pretty tough, right? Essentially spent 4 months burning every dollar I made on the doors. But I stayed on the phones, right? I stayed with it and I learned a new skill, how to make money online, which is extremely important, right? And guys, that's typically what it is. The first couple of months of learning like a real online high income skill, you're not going to make a lot of money in it. You're really not. You just have to put your head down, grind, and bro, like you have to believe in yourself. But this led me to moving back home at the age of 24, right? I had to drive all the way from Tampa back to Massachusetts. My lease ended in April. Spent every dollar I made on the doors essentially. It still hadn't paid me too good. I was making okay money, like maybe like 1, 2 grand a month, but not enough for rent and other expenses. And I'm gonna be honest, I hated this feeling. I hated this feeling. It felt like a retreat. It felt like I was tucking my tail. This did not sit right with me. It felt like a retreat, right? But a tactical retreat. It was a tactical retreat because I planned my entire ascension in that room, right? Because I was all alone. No family, no roommates. I was in control of my environment, my energy, and I had time to think, truly think my thoughts and my ideas without being surrounded by bullshit, right? So I planned my entire ascension in that room and knew it needed to happen, right? But I got home still grinding on a online high ticket calendar, not too juicy there. It gets way juicier. Guys, I'm up till 4 a.m. in the morning playing around with AI. AI wasn't nearly as good. That we'll also get into that too. But yeah, then first 10K month online, boom, online high ticket sales. I start ripping, right? Stuck with it. $7,800 in a day made. Now, obviously, I don't get all of that. I get a percentage as the closer, probably like 15%. But leading up to this too, again, guys, like I said, I planned my ascension. I knew, all right, it's time to lock the fuck in. So this whole time I was working out, getting absolutely shredded because my cousin had a wedding coming up. And I was like, you know what? We're going to go to Barbados. I'm making money online. Time to live the lifestyle. Time to live the lifestyle I've sacrificed my whole life for, right? So I got super lean. Again, this was me right here. You'll see. Um, this was the most static I've ever been in my life, guys. I was shredded. This is fully natural, by the way, too. No peptides, no anabolics yet, right? And I thought the hard part was over. I had the LARP aesthetic, like, oh shit, I'm on a boat in the middle of nowhere on a Tuesday afternoon. Look at me, haha, fuck you, wage cucks, right? That's what I'm thinking right here. Shredded as fuck, too. Like, holy fuck, dude, I'm static. Back shredded, and you can see face, like, cheeks hollow, dude. Pulling in money online. Come on, man. Come on. That's what you want to see. And then, so what happened from here? I got fired. Mid-July 2025, one off week over a holiday. The other closer closed nothing either because online high ticket, when you're selling B2C to business owners, like those like Memorial Day thing, bro, no one books calls. No qualified leads really book calls. And you can tell because most companies will stop running their ads. But I got fired anyways. The real reason was because now that I was doing good closing, I was taking food off the other closer's plate. He didn't like that. He was the business partner of the business owner. They clipped me. Business is war, guys. It's dog eat dog. Better to learn that sooner than later. But income to zero, no audience, no savings, no fallback. So, what did I do after thinking I've secured the life I've sacrificed all of mine up until this point? What did I do when I hit kind of rock bottom, right? Did I sit there, cry about it, bitch and moan? Or did I be like, oh, you know, this sucks. Let me go drink this weekend, right? I deserve it. Like, let me do this, let me do that, right? Dig myself into a bigger hole. No, I took immediate action. You have to take action immediately. That's the only way change will happen. You wonder why you're stuck in the same spot you still are. When was the last time you took drastic action? When was the last time you truly and drastically changed the inputs of your life to get a different output? That's what I did here. Took action immediately. Spent $2,500 on a course, AI clipping, right? $600 for my Best Buy setup, new monitor, ton of adapters. I also had to buy a new phone, right? Because you can only have so many clipping accounts on one device. Ascension, I planned it, right? $1,600 plus on peptides and supplies, and then braces, right? Big part of the Ascension. 7 grand. Guys, I lost my income. I essentially hit rock bottom. I retreated back home. I felt like a coward. I knew I wasn't living the life I wanted to live. And if I continued on that path, I would have to sit on my deathbed, look back, and be like, damn, how did I get here? This isn't the life I wanted. So I took immediate action, which a lot of people procrastinate nowadays. Took immediate action, right? Braces were already booked, right? I knew, because I knew the ascension was inbound. And if you're tapped in and you're actually, intelligent, yes, like the ascension, it's going to save your life. So you can see here, P Sciences, right? 470, 450, right? Peptide test supply. That was for backwater, guys. Again, this is back about a year and a half ago when peptides weren't as accessible as they are now. We got scalped like crazy. I paid like $1,600, guys, for maybe like a 3-month supply of BPC, TB, GHK, and CJC 1295 NODAC plus IPA, right? And then you can see the course I invested in here, $2,500, like that. So yeah, all in, man. Action immediately. The peptide stack that I got. So I got BPC 157. Main reason for this is I had a torn ligament in my wrist from that summer I did door to door. I was doing incline bench, and for whatever reason, it didn't go away for a year. And I was like, fuck this. I'm not dealing with this shitty quality of life. I'm going to do what it takes to fix it. So I did my research, obviously. BPC 157, TB 500, GHKCU, CJC 1295, NODAC plus ipamorelin, obviously GH secretagogue here. CJC's half-life about 20 to 40 minutes. Obviously with ipamorelin, you are going to get somatostatin suppression. So that's essentially the hormone that says, hey, we have too much growth hormone, stop producing it. That's why this is a stack you'll often see. And guys, for a GH secretagogue, people are going to say, oh, this is cope. Like, no, if you are running it properly and everything else is dialed in, diet, training, recovery, sleep, this stack right here works wonders. Also, I dosed all these separately. I know they come in blends now. I dosed all these separately. Right now, I'm doing a blend. I honestly will probably start dosing them separately again. I feel like the results were a bit better. GHK, obviously for the collagen, skin. A lot of people just think, oh, it's skincare. Guys, no, collagen has to do with your tendons, your ligaments, repairing those as well, especially when paired with these. TB500 also, I believe when I was looking at the studies, this was a while ago, I did a loading phase. I forget what the exact milligrams were, but I did a loading phase of TB500 for the first 2 weeks, I believe. BPC 157, half-life of about 12 hours too, I believe. Obviously increases angiogenesis, gets blood flow to areas where your body registers, hey, there's damaged and or inflamed tissue. Half-life of 12 hours. So I was dosing this morning and night because, again, my main focus was injury. And it worked wonders, right? CJC and IPOs morning and night as well. The reason for that, obviously with it being a GH secretagogue, it is going to mimic the natural pulsatile effect, right? So it's not like exogenous GH where you're just going to flood your system with that and elevate your IGF-1. You are mimicking the pulsatile effects with this. So you want as many of those as possible, right? So one at night, one in the morning. I've seen some people do it in the afternoon 2-3 times a day. To be honest, that's tough because you have to be fasted 2 hours before, so your insulin isn't spiked because it binds to the same receptor. So morning and night is what I did, right? Again, I forget the exact, I want to say 500 mcg daily, 6 days on, 1 day off. I did split up morning and night, I believe. This was like 12, 14 milligrams. Again, loading phase, I forget what this was. I think this was 500 mcg per day too, morning and night. And my injury got way better from that, way better. Within 3 months, I was back to 90%. I did a year of physical therapy. I did nothing. Again, this is like the phone I bought for the clipping. I got the LARPing aesthetic here. But yeah, so the AI business for the course that I spent $2,500 on, I built the clipping business. right? N8N pipelines. This wasn't even in the course. The course was just about clipping, but I knew AI was going to be taking off, so I got locked in with that shit. I bought 3 accounts, 15K followers each, about $250. I made about $10 off the whole thing, right? Terrible. Shittiest $2,500 course ever. Mediumitis, what's his name? Musa. Bro, your course is absolute shit. $2,500, I can't even get a one-on-one call, dog. That shit's crazy. And the course was outdated by 6 to 12 months, like the modules in Discord. So you quite literally couldn't even use them because they were against TikTok's TOS at that point. So you couldn't even post the videos that they were teaching you how to make, bro. That shit was ass, right? But again, action. Action is better than inaction. Oh no, $2,500. That's better than sitting on my ass and doing nothing because now I got burnt in the ass, lit a fire, right? You make shit happen, right? You're gonna fail. Fail fast, learn faster, right? Kept building anyways, right? This is one of the N8N pipelines. Obviously, you have a trigger here. This is actually what I use for my business right here, which is pretty dope. And then blood work. So yes, I got my blood work. Oh my God, I was looking static. I was like, damn, like after that Barbados trip, like, bro, I'm shredded. My test is probably like 1,000. Nah, nope, 223. I saw that when that came back, and I was like, damn, I was not expecting that. Because again, I'm pretty muscular. Like this does not look like a 223 test human being, I would say, or male. So it's like, damn, 223. That was a big red flag to me, and that kind of started the okay, let's see how this progresses. But now I'm getting static as fuck on the peptides. Like I've never seen that before. I also was doing a lot of posture work at this time. So fixing my anterior pelvic tilt, which contributed to the ascension a lot as well. Jefferson curls, hangs, right? Sleeping with a posture pillow as well as a leg pillow to put your legs up. Get rid of that ATP. And then September to December, this is when it started paying off a bit, right? I was still door dashing, Ubering. My boy hired me back to set on 2 offers now. So what I would do is I would set during the day, like 9 to 5, and then I would drive DoorDash all night. Bro, 70 to 80 hour work weeks every single week. Saturday, Sunday, I was dashing Uber Eats like 10, 12 hours a day, right? I would get home at 11 p.m. I'd eat my meal prep, and then I had to wait 2 hours, right? Because of the insulin for the CJC and ipamorelin. So I'd have to pin at 1, wake up, gym, set, drive, do it all again, right? No nights, no weekends, no life, 5 months, just grind. Bro, like if you want your life to change, you're gonna have to go through a phase like that. But it funded my peptides, braces, and HGH that was on the way. This is when I decided, all right, like it's time. And the braces. So this picture was taken about 2 months ago. Now, some people are like, oh, it's cope, right? Whatever. If you know ball when it comes to looks maxing, obviously the premise and the mechanism I was going for was osteoblast activity, osteoclast activity, obviously with a GH secretagogue, as well as this stack right here, BPC 157, has shown to possibly increase, IGF-1 locally, I've seen. But yeah, this stack is going to enhance and expedite your recovery ability, as well as obviously GHK, so the collagen. Main driver, though, is going to be the CJC 1295 NODAC plus IPA for the osteoblast. And as you can see, right, because of the mechanism I used, it was 24/7 constant tension focused on protraction and expansion of the lower and upper arch. Obviously, the upper arch, you've got the maxilla here, your tongue posture can improve because now my palate is bigger, so there's more surface area for my tongue to sit and apply pressure. Over time, that's going to create change. And honestly, this was 3 months ago. I still have 3 months left of my braces. Like, I might up the GH dose, right? So that's something to think about, right? I haven't seen a lot of people do that to ascend, but it definitely worked for me, right? So I started ascending, right? This one's funny right here. Like Stacy's, whatever, like pharmacies to supplies with backwater. Shout out to that boy Clav, bro, before he went like jester goon mainstream. He became what he hates the most. Just a jester for people's amusement. It's a shame to see. But yeah, old Clav right there. Shout out. And this was a look at like the N8N pipeline I was running to like generate AI videos. So obviously you have your trigger that will talk to the AI agent, which will then go to the chat model. That chat model is then going to go to another agent and then a think model. So essentially the schedule trigger starts. It is going to ideate the idea, create the idea, send it to VEO3, which obviously was the video gen. So yeah, it was essentially like fully done for you when you set it up with AI. AI is way better too now. But now I started ascending hard. Like you can see hollow cheeks, right? I've never seen these leg veins before. So I'm ascending really hard right here. And then yeah, this was probably prime. This was prime right here. October, damn, I left that there. 3 months of peptides, and yeah, I was mogging hard, right? TikTok was picking up. I was getting a little bit of clout on there. 3 months of doing it before anything showed, right? I kept posting, kept pinning, kept driving, and yeah, this is the result. When you take action immediately, invest into yourself, this is what happens, right? And then Tampa for Halloween. I didn't have any plans for Halloween. I was back in the hometown, right? Obviously, I was slaving away, so I wasn't really talking to too many people. I didn't have plans. And my boy, who I went to the Chiefs game with, right? He hit me up. He was like, "Yo, bro, come down to Tampa for Halloween." And I was like, "Bro, like I hate Massachusetts anyways. The vibes up here are ass. I love Tampa, so I was like, all right, let's send it." So sent it down there. And to be honest, I don't even like partying or whatever. I went as a Sukana. This was tough right here, right? Compression shirt, dude. Again, guys, like I was mogging peptide stack only, right? When you run it efficiently with diet training, peptides do work wonders. And yeah, I'll be honest, I got more female attention in this one night than my whole life. And that's when I was like, wow, this this shit is real, right? This shit is real. So for the section story. So obviously we're in line to get to the club. See a few guys. Obviously we're drinking, right? So we just see some random guys chat it up. Whatever, they're cool. Some of them from PA. So we're like, oh shit, Northeast, cool, right? Get into the club. Obviously split up, don't even see them, right? And then there's this one girl. She was in a sorority from Alabama, and all her sorority girls were dressed as like the cowboy cheerleaders. And like she was a rocket. And she was like looking at me. And I was like, really? I'm at that level now? And then so I go up, I talk to her, right? It's pretty chill. And then we go our separate ways. And then probably like a half hour or so later, she's just hanging around me, right? And I'm like, okay, that's like IOI. I'm like, all right, hold up. And then there's like some chuds talking to her or whatever. So then I go over, I interrupt, and I forget what I said. I was like, all right, I'm the one you want to talk to, right? And then we get to talking, and then I see the boy who I saw in line. Bro, this is the most charismatic thing I've ever done in my life. Like this shit right here made the ascension real. I was like, all right, this shit is real. They had a section, right? And I'm chatting to him while I'm chatting to this girl. And I was like, yo, bro, do you want girls at your section? And he's like, yeah. And so I told her, I was like, yo, come, I got a section. Bro, I did not have a section. That was not my section. But I get her into the section, all her friends, they're mingling, right? We're talking, and then, we start doing our thing. And it gets to the point where the guys in the section are like, yo, who is this kid? Like, yo, bro, you got to get out. And I'm like, yeah, just chill out, bro. Not right now, bro. Dude, this was the funniest shit. I was trolling at this point. I was straight gesturing because I was like, all right, this can't be real. This cannot be real. It's like a different reality. I was like, this can't be real. That shit was funny though, bro. That shit was really, really funny. I thought I'd share that. Bro, they were trying to kick me out. They're like, all right, you gotta go, bro. Bro, that shit was hilarious. All right. Yeah, no, that covers that. So December, I'm still setting all day, still driving all night. And then my panel came back. I retested 382. Yeah, that's not good enough. So I was like, all right, probably hopping on. Probably hopping on, right? Um, my boy shut down his business too, so I had no more setting job because he wanted to go a different route. So I was just door dashing, Uber Eatsing again. So again, pretty high right here. Think, okay, I'm going to be setting, I'm going to be dashing. Honestly, setting, it was turning up too. Like I was making now 6 to 8 grand as a setter per month, which if you're in the online high ticket space, like that's pretty good because I was double dipping on 2 offers, right? And yeah, so this is when I was like, all right, fuck it. I bought HGH, committed, and then I decided I was gonna rip the doors one more time, right? Because we had a fun ass time in Tampa, and I was like, all right, I gotta get the hell out of Mass, especially in the winter months, bro. Like if you're in the Northeast, Those are depressing months up there, especially when you come down to Tampa in October and it still feels like summer and you have a really good time. So I decided to do the doors again. We go all the way to Houston again for a blitz. So we make the drive from Tampa to Houston for about a week or two. And bro, my manager is just incompetent, just an incompetent leader, an absolute imbecile, right? Because we weren't even going to do door to door again because we tried to get under different management, but we couldn't because that's kind of just how the pyramid scheme works. Because we're on his downline, he needs his income. He recruited us, yada, yada, yada. So we couldn't get out of that shitty management, which was the initial reason why we quit the job, right? Vivint, great company, great leaders in there. Mine was just extremely incompetent and a fucking idiot, to be quite frank. So moved down to Florida, right? Went on the blitz, right? My manager threw me in the hood in Houston as a third year sales rep when I should be knocking high income. So, also for premise, we sell $5,000 security cameras with a monthly subscription. We finance it, so you need good credit. Not only is the state of Houston statistically the worst for credit scores, he throws me in the fucking hood. So I don't even have a chance to do my job. The few sales I did make, since their credit was so shitty, I didn't even get paid on them to this day, and it's been a year, damn near. And it's like, bro, it was terrible, right? I got bit by a dog in the hood. He threw me in the hood, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy, right? So I talked to him man to man with my boy, and I'm like, yo, we got to change some shit up. This is unacceptable. Like, you got to start being real with us too, because he was so corporate, right? Like when you're in sales, you want your manager to be your dog, right? But he was super corporate with it. It got to the point where my boy asked for $40 for gas for driving everyone around, and instead of sending $40, which he already makes far more off that, just off of us getting sales from his downline, bro, he texts the regional manager. He babies out and cries to our regional manager, and he puts us in a group chat, starts talking about, oh, it's a responsibility or whatever. We were like, all right, we're fucking out. We're not dealing with that shit. So we crashed out on him on Friday night, like 1 a.m. or like 12 a.m. because that's when we got home from the doors. Packed all of our shit, and then we drove 12 hours back to Tampa at 12 a.m. Bro, I just got done. I just got done off the doors. I got bit by a dog, bro. I wanted to go to bed, but dude, I was so furious. Bro, you can't take disrespect. If you are at a job you do not like or a situation you do not like, you can't take disrespect. Hold yourself to a higher standard, right? That's the only way you're going to get something better out of your life. So we stood on business, right? You have a backbone. We dipped on his bitch ass. And I'm still ascending, right? I'm going to the gym, lifting. And yeah, everyone wants to tell their boss to get fucked. Almost no one can. We could because we had the skills, right? This skill set is transferable. And again, remember, I've already ascended. I'm starting to kind of recreate my reality in my head because of this, right? Oh, I've went all in on myself. This is what happened. I've ascended. I've gotten good results from it, right? So now, and this is what it's really about, right? Because you see the TikToks, you see, oh my God, like he's mogging, right? But when you really start to experience those more positive micro interactions, it starts reprogramming your subconscious as well as your reality. And you start to quite literally see life differently, right? But what's good is because I went through all these shitty experiences as a chud, I still have kind of, you know, the intelligence, and I'm not ignorant to this stuff, right? Ignorant is bliss, right? You know, attractive people or whatever, just like, oh, la di da di da di da. Oh, just be confident, man. Go up and tell her you like her, right? That shit, right? They're just ignorant. But because I went through that, I also had the intelligence built up, and now I became the weapon to be able to use it, right? Which is very important. I got my test checked again though. Came back 225. Yeah, this is when I decided, all right, I'm hopping on. I get disrespected by my manager. We crash out. We quit. I come back 225 test. That's when I'm like, okay, if I just ran this peptide protocol and my test is quite literally hypergonadal, so I'm not even functioning properly. It's not like I have low test. I'm like dysfunctional at that level, but I'm still able to build this physique. I'm still able to be this mentally sharp, do this good in business and sales. I got to thinking, man, and I was like, yeah, it's time. It's time. So this is where the fun begins, right? Also got my life insurance exam. I took some max for like a week, right? Absolutely ripped it. So it was pretty easy. I passed my first try. I studied for it for like 2 days, but the Sumax built up already. First pin though, February 19th, right? 250 milligrams of test, bro. You know, every guy remembers their first pin, right? And that it was going to change, right? And everything else was already completely locked in. And I kind of did my research, right? So I was pinning every other day instead of like every week. Dude, what pisses me off is these people are like, what are you on, bro? What's the stack? And then they'll do it themselves and they'll do shit once a week because they're a pussy. And they don't, oh, I don't want to pin every day or every other day. I just want the shortcut and the fat. Like, no, fully commit to it. You want the results with putting in the half-ass work. That's not how it works. You have to fully commit, fully invest, right? Burn the bridge, take the leap of faith, right? So yeah, 25, I was under the floor. I wasn't going to sit there and cry about it with the tools and knowledge at my disposal. I took action, right? Get out of your shitty position. And yeah, no, this was dope. So muscles started popping, getting much fuller. Obviously, I'm still running peps, so also I started GH in January. I started at 4 IUs, titrated up to 6, so I think I'm on 6 here for about maybe a month or so. And yeah, this was March. This is the fullest I've ever looked. This is when I was like, holy shit, this is dope. Right? Pretty shredded right there. This is a snap. Damn, that sucks. I just got out of the shower and look static as fuck though. That's funny. Guys, when in doubt, just ascend. Just ascend. And then here's where shit started ripping. So I ended up not doing life insurance, right? Me and my boy started a business in February. In March, we made 10 grand a month from our business. And honestly, that was what, March 4th to 25th. And we went to Vegas like March 18th to the 25th. So this was a lot of money really quickly. So this is why we made this decision because that's kind of how we were thinking. And Vegas was lit, right? So I started believing that it would never stop, right? And I was on track for the true ascension, right? This is what I've worked towards all my life, right? I went through the grind. I did door-to-door sales. I did Uber Eats. I did DoorDash. I worked for my boy. He fired me. Worked for him again. Did door-to-door, Uber Eats, right? I just grinded my ass off. I just sacrificed everything. And I was like, yes, yes. This is finally the reward. This is finally me harvesting the fruits of my labor. Finally, the hard part's over, right? I'm on test, GH Primo. I feel on top. This was at Live Pool Party. Also, yeah, guys. Again, this shit's easy. I'm walking around and this girl's like, yo, can you frame mog me? I was like, yeah, of course. But guys, shirt on, shirt on, shirt on. Guys, when you ascend and you just start mogging, like life changing, right? So we've got the LARP static. Also, I'm ascending hard here. Like this is probably the best I've ever looked. But so what happened when I was at the absolute tippity top of life, right? Also, right here, so May 1st, I flew out to Utah to meet up with some boys who run a peptide company, Vector Peps. Big things coming. Big things coming soon with that. So I was ripping TikTok live streams, did pretty well, sold maybe like $1,500 worth that week. So now I'm thinking, oh my God, our business is absolutely ripping and I have this. I've got multiple sources of income. I'm thinking, this is it. This is the true ascension. Unfortunately, not. Um, it all went. Business went to shit. May 1st, we did 2 grand. So I was like, oh my God, we're gonna have a 60 grand month. Plus I have, this peptide money. This is it. But long story short, business got absolutely fucked. Um, it is what it is. I was projecting the income out in my head, and I was like, yeah, this is about to be life, man. I'm about to finally be LARPing with the Lambos on the yachts in Florida. But I got back from Utah. The business was absolutely dead by May 10th. Payment processor got fucked. Yeah, all that good stuff. And then my TikTok account gets banned. So I go from the business making 30K, my peptide income, back to zero. Back to zero. Everything external, I lost it. Third time in 10 months, right? Something just out of my control, but still ascending, kept training through all of it, never missed protocol once, right? And this is what I looked like then. So this is when I was like, holy shit, right? We're looking Aki, right? Lost business audience in the same month. Only one thing stayed standing, and that was my physique, bro. That was the ascension, right? This is prime look right here, shredded here. So if you look here, you can see my income up, fired, right? Up, shut it down. Up, all went, right? And then what I'm doing right now. So I'm doing fitness coaching right now, peptides a little bit, but you can see here too with test 383, 225, 1473, 108. I'll show that blood. But the one thing that always kept rising and kept bouncing me back from just getting fucked over and over again was the commitment to myself, right? The one thing no one can take away from you, bro. The one thing no one can take away from you. Your body, your physique, and your mindset. That is the only thing you have complete control over. Everything else can be taken away at a moment's notice. So if you're sitting there and you're, you might be making decent money, or you think you don't need to be in shape, or you're wondering, I just don't have the life I want. Like, I wonder what it is. It's your body, bro. And not that specifically, but your weak mindset that has allowed your body to get to that state. How you do one thing is how you do everything. If the one thing you have complete and utter control over, you only say, yeah, it's okay if I have a good physique. Or yeah, I get a good physique without tracking my macros. Yeah, my physique is okay. It's good enough. If that's the standard you hold yourself to for the one thing you have complete control over in your life, what do you think is going to happen to the other areas where you don't have control? Right? Because you're not going to rise to the goals you want to achieve. You're going to fall to your standards, right? You're not going to rise to your aspirations. You're going to fall to your standards. And if your standard for the one thing you have full control over is just good enough, I can see the outline of my abs. Yeah, I've been in the gym 5 years. I know what I'm doing. Clearly not. Clearly not. If your standard is only good enough, you're going to get fucked everywhere else in life. Bro, that's the only thing that allowed me to keep going. Every single time. Every single time. Right? Boom. Rock bottom. What do? Grind my ass off. Get in the best shape of my life. Oh, no wonder why I started making a ton of money online. I only got in the best shape of my life. It's the mindset it builds too. It's the mindset. What happened? Oh, I got fired. Oh, I'm going to cry. I'm going to do that. No, I've already built the mindset from the body I've built, right? The habits I've picked up from that. How you do one thing is how you do everything, right? This was nothing. I got fired. So I push myself to failure in the gym every single day. You think this is going to stop me? You think this is going to stop me? So what do? All in and take action immediately. All in and take action immediately, right? To achieve the best version of yourself or achieve the external things you want, which, yeah, right now you're probably just thinking, oh, I just want all the external things. I want the car. I want the freedom of time, the freedom of location, all this stuff. No, I'm telling you, that's not what it's about. It is about the relentless pursuit of the best version of yourself. And that's what you have to invest into. You've got people, oh my God, you've got people out here. You've got guys out here who are so weak-minded, so lackadaisical and complacent, right? You'll say, yeah, you need to go to the gym. You need to invest in yourself. And they'll be like, oh, I'll get a Planet Fitness membership. Be like, nah, dude, come to my gym. They're like, how much is it a month? You're like, yeah, it's $100 a month for the gym? Dude, what? Like, bro, these are the same guys who will go out, spend $100 on an Uber just to get to the club, to not talk to any girls and spend $300 on drinks and get hungover, then fucking eat like shit the next day. Are you serious? Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy, right? So I went back to one thing. I'm doing fitness coaching right. That's what I'm doing right now. Because through every single crash, the one thing that never stopped working, the one thing that never stopped giving me results and allowed me to succeed and dominate in every single other area was my physique, which came from my mindset, right? So what do I do now? Spent 10 grand on a mentorship, already made most of it back. Oh, who would have thought? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Who would have thought you invest in yourself and you win from that? Who would have thought, right? Pattern recognition, right? I've already done it. Pattern recognition, right? Bet on the thing that had already proved itself 3 times over, right? So that's exactly what I did. The one thing that's never betrayed me or left me in shambles after pouring blood, sweat, and tears into it has been my body, my physique, and the mindset it's given me. It wasn't dependent on anyone else, can't be taken away from me, and I'm in full control of the inputs that determine the result of that, just like you are. Just like you are. So what I have now, the physique, coaching clients, the foresight, the knowledge, the mindset, most importantly, the army I'm building, right? And guys, this is what it takes. You have to invest in yourself. Have to invest in yourself. I'm not at the top, full transparency, obviously, but I'm climbing again. Third time, I already know how it ends, dog. You know, pattern recognition. It's the one thing, never let me down. It's the reason I could get back up every single time. These are just some of my clients right here too. Brandon, this dude's absolutely killing it. Alex, this guy's in sales. Dude, yeah, he gets in better shape. Guess what happens? Best month in sales. Who would have thought? Right? He starts taking life serious, gets a regiment, gets a routine, starts getting the best shape of his life. Bro, he's shredded right now. Best month in sales. Brandon, he's about to see his abs for the first time. He's locking in. He's about to get shredded, right? Right now, my test's sitting at 1008, right? This is like current physique, right? Stuff isn't really too important. Yeah, I wanted to show you T3 here too. So diet, quick little trick too, because I'll give you guys some value. Incorporated selenium. So Brazil nuts right here went from like 3.6 previously. What was it, like 2.3? It was like previously 2.3 somewhere, whatever. I don't want to find it right now. But the main point I want to get across to you, bro, is you have to take action immediately. Don't just watch this video and then look at other self-improvement videos, how to ascend, all that. You have to take action immediately. Whether that's investing in a mentor, the tools you need, the environment you need to be in to make that happen. Remember, all this happened when I was alone in a shitty apartment that I hated, right? But I could think clearly, right? The people I was able to choose who I surrounded myself with. But if you get one thing out of this video, bro, invest in yourself. Invest in your future, right? I can't fucking stand people who say, oh, it's too much money. I would never invest that much. These are the same people who will sports bet on other men's success. Really think about the deeper meaning behind that. You get money from your hard ass work and your time spent, right? Hard work and discipline will set you free, but you have to use those resources and reinvest them into yourself. More importantly, becoming the best version of yourself that deserves freedom. Most other guys will use that money and reinvest it into being a wage cuck. They will go out Friday, Saturday night, buy drinks, go to strip clubs, sports bet, wake up like shit on Saturday and Sunday. The 2 days that you have full control of, really, and you don't have to answer to a boss, and you can work on yourself and achieve your freedom, they sit over hungover. They sit hungover. And then they're afraid to invest money into themselves, into becoming the best version of. I can't help those guys. I cannot help those guys. Those guys don't want it. They don't want it. I just don't want it, right? Those guys are nothing like me. I will never understand. But, bro, if you are someone who is not in the best place they want to be, you feel like your life is lacking a little bit in some, if not most areas, I'm telling you right now, take action, invest into yourself, right? That hard work and time you spent getting that money, that is the resource you achieve from it. Don't just blow it back into wage cuckery. Use that. That represents your precious time and hard work. Reinvest it back into yourself so you can become the best version of yourself that will achieve true freedom, right? And that's all I've got. 1 year ascension. I mean, bro, if you take action immediately, 1, 2 years, all it takes to completely change your life. That's it, bro.